I want to take a few moments here to recognize someone. When I was in Los Angeles, one of the major radio show hosts is Larry Elder. Excuse me. And he was mostly an independent, conservative. He's now listed as a Republican. Okay, I'll overlook it. But I've had my differences with Larry. We got into an argument about Laura Loomer harassing Nancy Pelosi. And it's a long story. I have some clips up here about it. But Larry has just lost his brother, Kirk Randolph Elder, who is a very kindly man. And then Friday nights, they would have a game where people would have to guess about different events and different individuals during the past week who had made the news. And Kirk, one of the things that he would offer was one of his world-famous hints. Well, I started doing that with young people when we would shop at Ralph's sometimes. And when I've told riddles and stuff, I kind of took after Kirk a little bit. I said, well, I'll give you one of my world-famous hints. And it was fun to tell young people who were, bag people at the supermarket at Ralph's. I would tell them, I said, what happened 8 years after the Civil War? And they would say, well, I don't know. Okay. And then I would tell them, well, I'll give you one of my world-famous hints, which I took after Kirk Randolph or Kirk Elder on. And I said, well, the answer's all around you. Well, the answer to the riddle is that Ralph's Grocery Market was established 8 years after the Civil War. And I get a lot of grins and a lot of giggles, and it's been fun. But when I do tell a riddle, I always say, I'll give you one of my world-famous hints. Well, I took that after Kirk Elder. Kirk was a kindly man. He loved to talk about the current events. As you know, I'm into politics. And, I've had my arguments with Larry Elder. I've had my arguments with Alex Jones. But when something major happened, I was right there to support them. And that's the way it should be in our country. Unfortunately, that isn't in a lot of the cases. Getting to a second issue, I was raised in a Christian Science home. And I was active with the Christian Science Church for many years. And I basically went through life without any major health crisis. But I had obtained a very serious, after moving here to Rio Grande, at least that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. I still never get it right. But anyway, a very serious infection in the finger. And I was rushed to an emergency ward, and it was my first experience being in a hospital. And I can go into volumes. I've been through everything. The MRI, all of the antibiotics in the hospital bed, so on and so forth. And it's been an experience. And I'm very grateful I'm out on my own recognizance. So long story to that. I don't want to get into the details. So I've already made a splash here in Rio Grande. And that's pretty much what I wanted just to basically say. As I understand, NASA is now tracking a major asteroid that might come very close to Earth. If NASA's tracking it, it's got to be something. But I don't want to digress on much of that. But Larry Elder has been a long-time radio host. I think he was with KABC and got fired. Well, everybody gets fired from KABC at one time or another, and considered a badge of honor. I don't know how Doug McIntyre is still lasting there with all this stuff he does. But anyway, and he's run that show, and Kirk Elder was always great after Friday night on a UFO blog that I'm on. We'd race to the other station to hear, Kirk Elder's view on things and playing the game. And if the person won the questions and guessed everything, they'd get a My Pillow and so on and so forth. But regardless of the politics, if you want to hear a professional radio person, I do advise you to listen to Larry Elder. Whether you agree with the politics or not, yes, he's one of those Republicans, that's fine. I don't support Trump, and I don't support Larry's views on that. But you want to hear professional radio, listen to Larry Elder. Anyway, with that, we will see you in the next clip. God bless. Just one more thing as to the finger. There's a possibility it might have to be amputated. It could even mean my hand amputated or arm, or I could die. All right, well, I'm ready to face that. I mean, it's a pinky. It's on my right hand, so thank God I'm left-handed, so it's not interfering with that right now. And I'm on the Medi-Cal and so on and so forth. And get into all those details. But anyway, I appreciate UFO Leaks for putting up a couple of our clips. I'm glad John Bolton was fired as National Security Advisor. Richard Dolan has some interesting clips up on his YouTube channel. I would advise you to take a look at them. His wife is also talking about remote viewing. She's a remote viewer. And so again, as I've said before, I'll see you in the next clip, and we'll try to get some interesting lunar and Mars photos up too.